For anyone arriving early, we're about ready to start this week's Linglestown Gazette live. And just to give you a quick sneak preview, we've got a lot of good things lined up here. It's actually time to start the show. So what we'll do is welcome everyone to this week's This and That, the podcast to market. It is January 23rd, 2026. Can you believe it's almost at the end of January? Seems like time is flying. And I hope everyone survived the snowstorm of about 10 to 14 inches in the area based on what Harrisburg International Airport is reporting. And tonight we got our icebreaker just starting in a few seconds. Some breaking news, actually, to that. I probably should do that before we get into the icebreaker. A special guest, some sports, including a really great win for one of our local teams, and then we'll wrap it up with new news. As far as the breaking news, that would be that Penn Waste will not be picking up your trash tomorrow if you're on the Monday schedule. Penn Waste will not be coming around. They're going to show up one day late this week due to the snow. And the other breaking news is, and we're looking for some help here, the Bengal kitten signs have showed up again, at least in the Linglestown area. It's definitely against all regulations. One of our friends at St. Thomas Roasters is very upset about this, so we'll see what we can do in the coming week about these Bengal cat signs. That's your breaking news. And also, I should mention and bring up the banner one more time that we're sponsored. Our title sponsor is Blue Line Pools and Outdoor Living, based here in the Linglestown area. Of course, I'm broadcasting from an unknown position in the immediate Linglestown area, not in the old village, but very, very close by. Blue Line Pools and Outdoor Living, they customize backyard pools and patio areas, including like small pavilions and different spaces to make your backyard a beautiful place and a place you want to look to hang out, after work or whatever it may be. I'll take that away, and we're going to bring in, to get started, our gentleman who helps me out with the icebreaker, Anthony Cristillo.
It's January 25th, not the 23rd.
It's not the 23rd. Okay. Thank you, Anthony. January 26th.
25th.
It's 25th.
25th.
25.
Oh, my God. Jeez.
How are things at Riverview Clean Fill going?
Good. I'm going to go up tomorrow and see what's up. I heard they got 8 inches of snow up that way, so it's just fine.
All right.
We'll be good. I'll get the machine out and do some plowing.
So anything on your mind? I have one thing lined up, but anything on your mind?
There's a lot on my mind, but you won't let me talk about
it. Well, we did.
Hey, I think we should go undercover for those Bengal cats. I'm going to get those glasses, big nose, mustache, call them up, and see if we can set up a fake buy of these Bengal cats, and then we'll find out who's selling them.
Yeah, for those who aren't in the know, those signs were all over the township this past summer. Did just a little bit of checking. They're not supposed to be on utility poles.
Yeah, Fred is very upset about that.
Yeah, and an unnamed woman, took them down, at least at Turkey Hill. I had a picture of them in a trash can, and we were threatened with a lawsuit. for messing around with private property. Messing around with private property. So, Anthony, you've lived in and around our area, Lower Paxton Township, all your life. Spent part of it in Middle Paxton Township.
Yeah, I grew up in Fishing Creek Valley, moved down to Lower Paxton in 86, 87. Graduated from East High in 87.
Yeah, so probably during your lifetime, some of Lower Paxton Township was still being actively farmed. I'm sure.
Yeah, we used to rent. I mean, we had a lot of acreage at where we grew up in the field. Mr. C's was the farmer up in Fishing Creek, but yeah, a lot of farms.
Yeah, do you know how many active farms we have now?
I'm going to say 2.
You got a little inside information there.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 farms, believe it or not. And I based on our talk before the show, I don't think you've been to either one.
No, I have.
Which one were you at? Oh yeah,
The
you were at.
on Parkway
Yeah, okay, there
when they
you go.
did the fall festival. We
Well,
took
yeah,
the
I met you there
granddaughters there.
too. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the two farms are Blissfully Loved Farm. That's one on Goose Valley Road. Actually, 4416. Write it down, Goose Valley Road. And I have some pictures here. This is the inside of their farm store. It's pretty much open anytime. You just walk in, that's where you pay. They have microgreens. Are you familiar with those, Anthony?
No, happy to say I'm not.
Well, they're different regular vegetables, but they harvest them when they're very, very tiny. So there's
Oh,
something you can put on salads. You can eat
oh,
them raw.
yeah.
That
Try to
kind of.
stay away from the healthy stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Well, here's what they look like. This is what the microgreens as they're in their growing
Yeah,
facility. Colorful for sure.
yeah.
And then
What's
they
the red
also.
flats?
I don't know. I don't know what the variety all those are. I'm sorry. But
All
they
right.
sell honey. My wife buys honey from there. We get the microgreens, fresh vegetables, eggs, and gifts. Some gifts in there. So if you're, Valentine's Day is coming up fast, Anthony. You have to get Teresa something. You may want to check this place out.
Okay. Yeah, I'll buy her a salad.
Okay, I'm sure she'll love that.
Yeah.
And then the other farm is out, as Anthony said, Parkway West off of Linglestown Road.
That's a nice
Parkway West
place.
is across from Colonial Country Club. But this is their vegetable stand during the summer. They also have a farm store, and I had a video. You could see my granddaughter Remy running around, and I did a quick tour of their place. So you'll find that on Facebook. They're at 1951 Parkway West. They have, of course, you can take a look at the video. You see they have eggs, meat, maple syrup. They also do horse riding out there, Anthony, if you want to take that up as a hobby.
Yep.
And then they sell firewood, and
Oh,
they have the fall festival, which Anthony and I both attended this past year.
not together.
No. We sort of passed. We grunted at each other and kept moving.
Now my
So
granddaughters had a blast out there. That was neat, and they had a great display of old tractors.
yeah.
The fall festival was fun. Hey,
Did,
so you gotta let me talk just a couple minutes.
all
I'll
right,
keep
go.
it
What do you
calm.
have on your mind?
I
What's on your
won't,
mind?
I won't get carried away with it. But you know what? I spoke at the township meeting the other night,
Right.
and I know it's a small item in dollar amount, but it means a lot, and people don't really understand. They didn't really understand what that resolution was. It was so important for who introduced the resolution? Was it Robin? Do you know, or I think it
Um,
was,
I don't.
but it doesn't
It
matter who
could.
it
Yeah, I
was.
don't know. My answer is I don't know.
Doesn't matter. But they are allowing to pay township employees 8 hours a year to do volunteer work. Well, volunteer work is just that, volunteer. I mean, we've talked about this, Bill. It's,
Right.
in the grand scheme of things, on a $50 million budget, it's a small number. But if you watch the pennies, the dollars take care of themselves. And why you have to wonder, why was that so important that they had to pass that the first real meeting they had? And I got no answers out of any of them. Got some kind of
Blank
it
stares.
blank stares and leaning back in the chair and looking at me. You got to act like you want to be there, okay? But the other thing was, yeah, the one John Campbell said, to build employee morale. Give me a break. That's the most lame reason I've ever heard.
Well,
Um,
just to be
and
fair, Anthony,
okay,
some businesses do
no,
that as an
they do
incentive.
it.
It's an incentive to
Absolutely, but this isn't a
volunteer.
business. This
Yeah.
is a township. This is taxpayer money. And I tell you what, let me just get a couple things off. It's going to make me sleep better. Yeah, I was thinking today, I feel bad for Robin, and I'm going to tell you why. You want to
Okay.
know why? You know that I campaigned hard against her.
Right.
Uh, for my reason, she quit and all that. Everybody knows the story. But I feel that she was used by the board to get them across the finish line, and now they're boxing her out. And I feel bad for her. I really do. I mean, she's up there at the end of the table. She's not even a vice chair. She should be the chairperson if you want to go by experience and somebody that knows what's going on.
Yeah.
My opinion, because
So,
where we're at now, if they don't get a hold of things real quick, well, it's going to go sideways.
well, I'm going to share later on, just so maybe you want to stay awake for this.
Oh no, I had a hard day watching trees out the window.
a 3-point plan for not only Lower Paxton Township, but really any township to have a successful board.
Yeah,
one that really makes it. I have a 3-point plan. So
yeah, I mean, we never heard like what their agenda was or is.
Not yet.
All we heard during the campaign was they're bad, we're good, vote for us. I mean, you hear that from that's every, but none of them told us what they're going to do.
No.
And Eric Kessler is 100% right. That economic development person, whoever that may be, somebody with experience, that has to be like number one. And Pamela's saying, well, there's, that's at the bottom. There's more important other pressing issues. Well, no.
Yeah.
And she's not in charge of hiring. She needs to understand that. That's the township manager, who's a great guy. A lot of experience.
Like you said earlier, we have to give this board a little bit of time. We can share our opinions. We can share our opinions, but whether they'll listen to them or not, who knows?
I'm on a roll now. I'm gonna go to the meeting in February whenever I'm not busy. I got a busy social life. February 15th, I can't be on your show, Bill.
Oh, okay.
That's a Sunday. I can't be on.
That's okay.
I'll be in, and you know what? Maybe I should click on from Jersey, from the Carnivale.
What
I
is
should
that?
log in. It's I might do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anthony, I hope you sleep better. I'm glad we gave you a chance to get this stuff off your chest.
What's these? Tell me these real quick before we go.
It's just I'm really into it tonight. I have my Nike wristband.
Oh my gosh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Where's the headband?
I don't have one. Maybe you can get me one.
You're like Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta.
Anthony, I'll see you tomorrow at St. Thomas Roasters. We'll solve all the problems of the world tomorrow morning.
Yeah, check social media. I don't know if they're opening late, on time, not at all. I'll be there. I'm going to stare through the window.
Thanks for your support, man.
See ya.
Bye. Now I'm going to bring in our special guest, Sandra Brooks. We'll bring her to the stage. Welcome, Sandra.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And also, Joe Gilloway has joined us. He's has a dual role, and we're still negotiating his contract. He's our producer as well as sports guy. And then,
hi, Bill. Hi, Sandra.
He also comments on the new news. So
new news.
Sandra heads up. I think you head up the NutriPack program. Yeah, okay, for Central Dauphin School District.
Wonderful.
Yep. Thank
Golf
you.
clap.
My first full official year. I started last year. The prior director retired after 8 years of service. So.
Yeah, how long has the program been in existence? It's been a while, I think.
Yeah, this actually marks the 15th school year. So we operate through the school year from October through May, and this celebrates 15 years of serving the students.
So I'm sure a lot of our community knows about it. I'm sure some don't. So why don't you explain what this NutriPack program is that's working with the school district's kids?
Yeah. So we are a program of the Panther Ram Foundation, and what our mission is as NutriPacks is to ensure the students of Central Dauphin School District have the nutritional resources they need to thrive socially, emotionally, and academically. So 15 years ago when this started, there was a school counselor that recognized, when students come to school on Monday morning, and if they are a family who is food insecure, they're not getting fed over the weekend like they get at school. At school they get their breakfast and their lunch meals provided to them, but they would come to school on Monday morning hungry. And when you're hungry, even as adults, we know when we're hungry, we can't focus. You're only thinking about being hungry, and that's when NutriPack started. They started serving, give or take 50 students. Now we have over 1,600 students enrolled. And our average weekly pickup is 727 right now. So we're packing over 800 bags each week. And what the packs of food are meant to provide is the weekend food that those kids aren't getting from school. So 2 breakfast, 2 lunch, 2 dinner, and some snacks. so that they have that food over the
So,
weekend.
so the 720 backpacks actually impact 1,600 kids. Is that what you're saying?
That's how many enroll. On average, not everybody that enrolls picks up each week.
Okay.
So it just depends. So that's our average pickup though is about 60% versus the enrollment students.
Okay. Now, how does a family or a student, however it works, qualify for this benefit?
Any student that attends a school within the Central Dauphin School District is able to apply. So if a family recognizes that they have a need, no matter what their circumstance might be at that time, they are welcome to apply. So they would just go onto our website, which is cdsdnutripacks.org. And then there's a tab to enroll. And we ask just for basic information, their name, address, phone number, email address, and then they can enroll in our program. And not everybody stays, year long. Sometimes families only need a temporary assistance. So they might just pick up for a few weeks. We saw that, especially with the government shutdown, a couple months ago. So we saw an increased need with that shutdown. And then if a family recognizes that they no longer have that need, they don't have to pick up.
Okay. Yeah, I know I was involved in, there's a local church does a big giveaway once a month. And it was just interesting to see how they work it. But people show up in this parking lot but it's really an honor system. If the family needs help, there's no questioning, no qualifying financially. It sounds like this is the way this is set up too.
It is, because you never know what somebody's circumstance is. Just because you're okay one day does not mean, you're okay the next day. So we're there when families need it.
And what happens during the summertime? Because you said this is 8 months or 8 or 9
It
months.
is. That's actually one of my goals. This summer, at this time, we do not have a summer feeding program. Budgetary restrictions and volunteerism is a big part of that. My goal, though, is for the summer of 2027, I would like to have some sort of a summer feeding program, because then that's a big part that students have that need when they aren't in school getting their breakfast and lunch. So that's summer of 2027 is my goal.
Okay. Well, I know it's happening at other places around the state, because I looked at newspapers from across the state on a job I just retired from, and they somehow put it together. So I know it's possible. Maybe you might be able to model off of some of the things that other schools are doing possibly. I can't help you out right now. I don't know what they are.
I know we have done it in the past. I think with COVID, when COVID was going on, I believe they did some summer programs back then, but it wasn't sustained for every summer.
Well, I have 2 more questions, and we'll see what you have to wrap up. As far as how do you raise money? I mean, I guess there's some money put out to bring food in. I mean, what are your sources of finances? And can anyone contribute, type of thing?
Absolutely. That's actually a great question, because one of the things that I learned early on is it's a misconception that, the food is all donated to us. We actually do purchase most of the food from Central Pennsylvania Food Bank. So we do have a large budget. It costs us, our budget is $200,000+ a year to purchase the food. And our primary sources are through grants. So we do apply for grants throughout the year, corporate funding, community donations, churches, and just everybody donating a little bit. Every dollar counts. So no amount is too little. It all adds up.
So
Hey, Bill.
Go ahead, Joe.
Can I mention something along the lines of what Sandra's talking about here? A number of years ago, I think it was like 2018, 2019. Sandra, I operate a local media outlet, just a small mom and pop media outlet. We cover high school sports, and Bill and I did it together. Bill, you might even have been here for this. And I was interviewing some student athletes from a neighboring district, but they're our neighbors. Okay. They weren't Central Dauphin or Central Dauphin East, but they were kids that would interact with our kids. And I think I was interviewing about 5 of them. And I told the coach to invite as many of the teammates as wanted to come. It was at Underdog, and to watch the show. So when everybody got together there was maybe 20 total kids, the ones I was interviewing and their teammates. And I said, Coach, I want you to ask all the kids to grab menus and get whatever they want, and we'll pay for it, right? And Bill, you were probably there. And the coach says to me, he goes, "You know what, Joe?" He goes, "We so much appreciate that. For some of these kids, that'll be the only meal they eat all day."
Mm.
Okay. And that's can be the case with some of the students that Sandra NutriPack is giving food to, donating food to.
It is true. And I will
It's a
tell
real
you,
story. I don't mean to interrupt, but that is exactly the type of children, students that are benefiting from programs such as these.
you are absolutely correct. And the important thing is that these are our students. They're students in our school district. They're students in our community. And we are hand delivering this food. This isn't something that goes to a large national organization. These are our students, and we're directly serving them. And I can tell you the appreciation is truly there. And our volunteers, we have over 200 volunteers that help make this happen. And our volunteers are the best people in our community. That's one of my biggest blessings, is being able to get to know so many people in our community that are serving our students. Last week you had on R2E Church. They're one of the churches, some of their church members. Actually,
Which church was that? Which church?
Road to Emmaus.
Okay, yeah, they're moving into Linglestown.
Yeah, but we also have Christ Evangelical Lutheran, Chambers Hill United Methodist, Clarks Valley Zion, Linglestown Life United Methodist, Mount Calvary Methodist Church. So we have a lot of these local churches that maybe they take offerings for us that donate to us. R2E actually donates. They collect peanut butter for us regularly throughout the year, and a lot of people volunteer. The community this year has really come together because a lot of people want to do food drives, which we are really grateful for. But if you think about the way that we provide food, we're packing over 800 bags of food every week. So that means every week we need 800 jars of peanut butter, 800 cans of soup, 800, bags of rice or pasta. So we need large quantities of singular items. And by us communicating out that this year to community organizations, our in-kind donations have been really wonderful this year. So our community in general just has really been supportive of us.
Yeah, I think another thing this points out, and many people, depending on what subdivision or development they're living in, they may not realize that there's a sizable number of families that do run into struggles. I mean, if you're serving 1,600 kids in one way or another, I mean, that shows that we have some poverty within our district.
We do. The Central Pennsylvania Food Bank put out a food mapping report this year, and I should have brought those statistics with me. But if you look at the city of Harrisburg, and I think it's one of our area codes does have a high level of food insecurity, and that is in our school district.
Yeah.
And we serve all students. When the program originally started out, because it was smaller and new, they were only serving students at the elementary school, but we are open to all schools, high school, middle school. We distribute out of 8 schools. So we're actually located out of Central Dauphin Middle School. So sometimes people will see Wednesday's our main distribution day, and they might see people standing outside waiting for our distribution to begin. But we have 8 other schools, even as far as Middle Paxton, which is the farthest, out. So they help distribute to students out here in the Middle Paxton area. Gosh, what else can I tell you about that?
Well, here I can sort of, just to put a bow on this, why don't you take some time to identify one or two things as far as things you really would need some help with at this point, those who are listening in right now, or they listen, after the show on an archive version. So what are your biggest needs?
Let me highlight first is the peanut butter. So January last year and this year, we're highlighting National Peanut Butter Day, which was January 24th. So just this last Saturday. So we've had collections around the district. If you're looking to donate something or collect something, We actually distributed almost 6,000 jars of peanut butter last year. So we're
Okay.
probably going to exceed that this year. And that's an easy collection. Monetary donations are always helpful because we purchase, not only do we purchase non-perishable food items, but we're really trying to increase the amount of fresh produce that we purchase and provide. And the bread, we provide bread, fresh whole wheat bread once or twice per month. So monetary donations are always helpful. And through that, you can go onto our website. If you click on the tab for donate, you can get information on that as well. And holding a food drive. So we do have information about the food drives, the kinds of food that we need most often.
So if you want to give peanut butter or something else, there's information on the website where to take it. Okay. All right.
Yeah. And then follow our Facebook page. So our Facebook page, which is CDSD NutriPacks program. So it's important that that word program is there. You'll see so much information. We get to highlight our community organizations who volunteer with us. We're able to, show you what's in our packs, maybe the special things that we're able to give out to our families each week. If we're doing any special food drives, we can highlight that. What else is coming up? Oh, in March. March is National Nutrition Month. And in March, we're going to be having a special event. Ryan Maloney is a teacher over at East Middle School, and he's going to be helping to host our 4th annual Hoops for Hunger event, which is really exciting. So you get entrance with a jar of peanut butter or jelly. And it's a really exciting game of basketball between teachers within the district. And the goal is to raise funds for the NutriPacks program. So that's coming up in March.
Is that a public event?
You have to follow all the school rules for attending a sports event, but absolutely community members can come. And
Bill, I don't think they'll let you in.
They won't. Why? Because I'm wearing these bands or what?
I'm joking. You've been in those schools so many hundreds of times. I was just joking around.
Okay, we've been talking with Sandra here, Sandra Brooks from the Central Dauphin School District's NutriPack program. Goes through what's the name of the foundation again? Panther Ram, right?
Panther Ram Foundation. Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, that's been around for a while too. Remember we went to one of their banquets, Joe, a number of years ago, brought people. So, well, thanks for what you're doing for the district, Sandra. And I guess a belated welcome to the area since you told us you came in from Arizona just a couple of years ago.
Yeah, we love it. Like I said, my daughter goes, she actually is a freshman at Central Dauphin High School. I thought it was really cool that Anthony knew the town Queen Creek, Arizona. Not too many people know that town, and that's actually where we moved from. So
it seems like cool Anthony knows everyone and knows everything. So. Okay. Well, have a good evening, and maybe we can have you on again. So
Thank you, Sandra.
Ongoing thing. Thank you.
Stay warm out there.
Have a great evening.
You too.
Bye. All right, Joe. That was informative.
Yeah, that was good. Good.
Got some good information.
That's frontline stuff, Bill. Food, eating.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, obviously, it's just there's nothing more important than it.
Yeah, it's one of those things as you move about our school district in Lower Paxton Township. It's not something you see. I mean, you don't visibly see people who are hungry. You don't pick it up, but you have to know it's there.
Well, people that are hungry, especially kids, I would say, are probably, there's some shame attached to that, and they're probably hiding it. They're not going to usually tell people, look, I'm starving, I need some help. We don't have food in our cupboards or in our refrigerator. So, it's hard to identify that. You're right.
Yeah. So I'm glad we have that program, and we'll try and support it. Did you ever pack any bags over there, Joe?
No, I have not.
Yeah, I think I did it once or twice. It's very well organized.
But Bill, we were on free lunches. My mother or my sister and I from 1972 when we first moved up here until I think I got out of high school. So I had a version of that, but that was only for lunchtime. That wasn't what NutriPacks offers. But I understand food insecurity. So it just, again, I don't want to. It's frontline stuff. It's essential. It's not just frills. It's not just an add-on to somebody's.
Right.
They need food.
Yeah, and the state legislature actually added not in recent past, but I mean not too long ago, added school lunches too.
Yeah,
I think anyone can get a school lunch. So
good.
All right, let's move over to sports. And when we talk about sports on Linglestown Gazette live, we're talking about Central Dauphin High School and Central Dauphin East High School. And Joe, I do have a picture from the big game the other night, basketball game. You want me to throw that up there? You going to talk about it?
Right there,
Yeah,
it is.
that's it,
Yeah. Let's start. Let's lead with that.
Okay.
That was Cumberland Valley at Central Dauphin. It was kind of a replay of last year. Central Dauphin was playing at Cumberland Valley.
Yeah, I was at that game. Yep.
They had the lead late, and Cumberland Valley made a little mid-range baseline shot at the buzzer to win the game, to knock off Central Dauphin. And they call that flipping the script. I mean, everything was the same, only the opposite, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This year it was at Central Dauphin. This year Cumberland Valley had the lead late, and this year Central Dauphin made the buzzer shot.
And hey, Joe, that buzzer shot was what they call a runner, right?
That's a runner. Yeah, he knew that he didn't have time. It was Khalil Roberts. He knew that he didn't have time to get off a true like jump shot. He just was running out of time, and it was kind of like a mid-range running. He just kind of let the ball fly out of his hand. Yeah. It's a beautiful shot. I mean, he did it exactly the way he needed to, and
I got a picture. I have a question about that picture. Will you put that back up?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, on below, you see the Linglestown Gazette logo. Go over to the next banner to the left. And go straight down. Now, this guy with his arms extended, is that the athletic director?
I believe that is Chris Hunter. Yeah.
So I wonder if he's celebrating or hoping that no one gets crushed.
I think he's kind of. I don't know if he was excited. I mean, that was just such an exciting play. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But I know what he was doing there. He was heading over to try to keep the fans off the court.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's what you're seeing. His arms are up, not in jubilation so much as to try to keep the crowd from overreacting. I mean, you want him to react, of course. It's a fun, jubilant night, a Friday night, but that's what he was doing. I watched the video.
Yeah, I saw it too. So what else do you have other than this big game where Central Dauphin Rams came out on top?
There's a lot of basketball going on right now. I know we touched a little bit on girls wrestling last week, but I really do have a lot of basketball, and I have more than normal because Central Dauphin High School has, over the past handful of years, they've been successful on the boys and the girls side, and East has not been so much as and this year they're doing a lot better. They're boys and the girls. So that's what I wanted to do, is kind of start with the girls. And there's the Commonwealth Division. They both play out of the Commonwealth Division. The young lady on the left is Sincere Matthews. She's the point guard for Central Dauphin. And the young lady on the right is Samira Mamadou. I just had Samira Mamadou on. I interviewed her on one of my shows. But if you notice there, Central Dauphin's in the lead, 11-0, 17 in the division, 17-1 overall. But Central Dauphin East is 7-9. And the significance there is they're 7-9 after 16 games. The prior 7 seasons, East High girls were 19-90.
Oh, wow.
And their best record over those 7 seasons, was 6-13. So they've already eclipsed anything they've done over the past 7 seasons. And you can't just turn a sports program overnight from where that 19-90 into first place team, but they're doing better. They're doing a lot better.
That sounds good.
Yeah. So there's the power rankings, and what these are is there's formulas that go into this, and I don't want to get into exactly how but Central Dauphin's at number 2 behind Red Lion.
Number 1, I can't see that.
That's Red Lion.
Okay.
Who beat Central Dauphin? That's Central Dauphin's only loss.
All right.
But there again, Central Dauphin East, they're only 2 spots out of that 16 spot, and 1 through 16 all get into the postseason, to the district championship. So tournament.
And when do those playoffs start?
The 3rd week in February.
Okay. All right.
So we're going to move over to the boys' side, and the Central Dauphin again. They're in first place. So Central Dauphin East, 6-5 in the division. They're in 5th place, and they're another team that has struggled over the years, and so they're winning some games this year that they typically have not won recently. And the young man on the right, Bill, is Central Dauphin East Elijah Cooper.
All right.
He just had a career high 34 points in a big win over Harrisburg Friday night. He also, back on December 16th, scored his 1,000th career point at State College, again in a win. So these significant milestones, the 1,000th career point and the 34 points, both came in wins, and that always makes it even a little bit sweeter.
Sure. A question about the Rams.
Yeah.
Didn't they have a game with a tough York team last week?
They played both York High and Central York back to back and won both games.
Wow.
Yeah. So and then the gentleman on the left, I'm gonna put a different photo up there.
All right.
And we're gonna identify him. That's Jelani Easter. He's a senior. He's sitting at 950 career points. I just mentioned that Elijah Cooper eclipsed 1,000. He has 950 career points. And if he stays healthy and he keeps up doing what he's been doing, he's going to end up, with his name and number on the banner in the Central Dauphin gym forever. I noticed him last year really having a good shot. Yeah.
Just a good overall player.
Very good overall player. So we talked about Elijah Cooper. We talked about Jelani Easter. There is the boys power rankings. Central Dauphin's #1 in the boys power rankings, followed by Central York, Muhlenberg, Reading. This is kind of an up for grabs. As well as Central Dauphin's playing, there's some very good teams in 6A in the District 3 tournament. So that's not going to be just because you're #1 doesn't mean you're gonna win it all. And it's been many, many years since Central Dauphin. I think actually since 2012, maybe, since Central Dauphin won a district championship, but that's a good while. That's 14 years.
I got one question for you.
Sure.
I can't think of his name, but off the top of my head, but the gentleman that's coaching Northern, how's he doing?
Ty Sabercool, they're doing well.
Okay.
They're in second place in the division, and I think 10th place, and 16 teams qualify for the district power ranking. So they're safely in there. And yeah, they're doing well. They're fortunate to have him over there, and he really likes his guys. He really likes this group of players that he's coaching.
All right.
I briefly mentioned last week, young lady by the name of Olivia Green. She broke the 1,000 rebound mark back in December, and she's at 941 career points. And she's a senior, so she needs to get 59 more points before this season ends. And then again, she probably already earned her name onto the banner with those rebounds. But if she were to finish with 1,000 points and 1,000 rebounds, that's a pretty stellar career. So that's it. I had a lot of basketball stuff, Bill. I didn't mean to ignore all the rest of the sports, but tis the season that it's the latter part of the season, and then the boys and girls at Central Dauphin are doing very well. And the boys and girls at East High are doing a lot better than they have been. So that's great news.
Do you know? I haven't been to a game yet. Do you know what's happening this coming week as far as home games?
Well, Harrisburg was supposed to be the Harrisburg boys were supposed to visit us, Central Dauphin, tomorrow night. That game was pushed back till Saturday, February 7th. So that'll be the last game of the season. And let's just take a look. Since you asked, Bill, I can do this very quickly.
All right.
And there will be.
So that was CD boys on February 7th.
Yeah.
At home against Harrisburg.
There's not going to be a game. The next home game is 2-5, February 5th.
Okay.
Hosting State College.
That's a boys game again.
Correct.
All right.
And their only game this week will be at Altoona. So,
all right.
Yeah. So that's it, Bill.
Well, thanks again. This is brought to you by Linglestown Gazette Sports. If you're in the high school sports, you definitely want to check it out. Sunday night shows at 6 o'clock. You're recapping basketball, I believe.
Yeah, 6 to right around 7. I think our show went an hour and 2 minutes today, Bill. Tonight. Right. Yeah.
And what are you interviewing? Any athletes, student athletes this week?
The 28th, which I believe is that this week?
Yep.
Yeah, it is this week. Yeah, I have yeah, let me throw that back up because one of these girls is a Central Dauphin girl, Kayana Taylor in the upper right.
Okay.
She's a sophomore at Central Dauphin and has really come into her own this year. Just a fabulous player, one of the best in the area, probably one of the best statewide in her class and in the class of what's that, 2028. And then lower right's Ava London, a neighboring district. She plays for Susquehanna Township. And then Jayla Kozier from Middletown, lower left. And these are three of the better overall athletes, no matter what sport you're talking in the area. So that's going to be Wednesday, the 28th at 7:00. Should be a great interview.
All right. Again, thanks a lot, Joe, for that.
Sure.
This is a new addition to Linglestown Gazette Live, which is a local and community news magazine show. That's what we're attempting to do with this thing. So it's a variety of things, and we're going to wrap up with new news.
New news.
Okay, and what new news is? You get a quick look at what happened in the past week with government and other things. So don't run away. This is kind of stuff that really impacts our lives, but people don't realize it. Everything's dominated by national news, but the stuff that happens locally really impacts you seriously, financially, and in other ways as well. So we have things here. We'll start out with the school district and then wrap up with Lower Paxton Township. With the school district, we're not covering the school district right now for a lack of manpower, but word did come my way that 2 school board members resigned recently, and the board's now looking to replace both of them. Verify this is right. I have Jeannie Webster, Region 1. She resigned. Is that correct?
No, that's wrong.
Yeah. All right. So who did
It was
resign?
Michelle
Hawes. I know about her.
HAW. She's Region 1.
Yep.
And Region 2 would be Lauren Silvers.
All right, Joe. And that's evidence that AI has things wrong. They actually had Eric Epstein.
No.
So
it wasn't Jeannie Webster and it wasn't Eric Epstein. And Region 1, just for your information, is kind of over more in the East High ends of things, East High, Swatara, East Junior area. Yeah. And then Region 2 is kind of smack dab right in the Colonial Park area, and then once you get north of that and east of that, then that's Region 3.
Right. The Linglestown area. And
Correct. And beyond. Yeah.
Yeah. So you still have time if you, for some reason, you want to get on the school board and provide some public service, you have some interest in this type of thing. The resumes have to be submitted to the district by February 3rd. And then the decision on who they're going to fill these seats with, February 12th at 5 p.m. is what I picked up.
This is a special
meeting.
Yeah. And I want to just let people know you don't have to go purchasing and putting up signs. It's not a traditional, You're not running for this position. It's you're going to be interviewed in front of the board and whoever is at the meeting and whoever's watching from home online. And they're going to ask you questions relative to, running a district and just kind of get a feel for your understanding of what happens at that level. And so, yeah, you would go in and be done with it in a couple hours probably and know whether or not I did this. I gave it a shot, a year and a half or so ago. I did not, let's call it win that night. Somebody got more votes than I did. And she's doing a great job, but it's
Lauren it was Lauren and Silver's seat, right? Wasn't that the one that you were shooting for? Was someone else? Okay.
Yeah, no, someone else, but she's doing a great job. Kristen Hanford, her name is.
Okay. All right.
And the only reason I mention that is because I went through it and it was kind of a little bit, nerve wracking, and it wasn't the easiest experience but I grew from it. And I'm telling you, if you're at home and it's something that you think you might want to do, give it a shot. If you really want to, it's an unpaid position. But if you care about students and you care about your community and you care about teachers and taxpayers, and you have some time to dedicate to it, this might be for you.
Yeah. And these 2 terms, my understanding is, will go through 2027. That's what you're committing to. then you'd have to run at that point if you wanted to keep your seats.
Then you have to purchase and put up signs and stuff.
If you
stuff
want,
like-
if you want,
if
to.
you want to do that, right? Yeah.
Let's move over to the township, and I have two things here. We've had 3 meetings so far in this particular calendar year. The first 3 Tuesdays of every month are dedicated to the Board of Supervisors meet. The middle one, their second meeting, is what they call a workshop. So traditionally, workshops are where issues are discussed, but usually no decisions are made. So you're not under the board members aren't under pressure to make a decision that night. It's up to the chairman, I guess, working with the manager. Sometimes they do vote, but that's the idea of a workshop. It's not meant to be a voting meeting. So those 3 meetings, really the only thing that's come out of there that would be policy related, that decisions were made. One is sort of one that we don't think a lot about, is related to transportation, active transportation. And you probably know what that is, Joe. It's like non-motorized transportation, like pedestrians,
Right.
Walkers,
bike riders.
absolutely, bicycle. Dr. Charles Stewart has come out. He's very interested in getting some safety issues addressed with bicycling. So it's that kind of transportation. The prior board, it might have been, we've had so many different changes of board members in 2025. One of the previous boards actually authorized a well-known engineering firm to put together a plan, and that's been underway for a year or more. And with this new group, was the first or second meeting, the engineers came in and presented the plan. The board ultimately approved it. And then just last week, the engineering firm was back. They now have gotten approval. It was about a $12,000 to $14,000 project, Joe, to take that plan and put a map together.
Right.
So that whenever a developer or someone's going to develop land, one of the things they'll look at is this map and determine what obligations they have or different things that the township is expecting them to address when it comes to active transportation. So it could be a pathway, it could be a sidewalk, something that they have an idea that this is something that they're going to have to address when they put that plan through the township. So they spent a lot of time on that. I mean, they did, like a lot of new people, they wanted to make sure they were making the right decision, even though they weren't directly involved in it as this thing evolved. So it was passed. So that was the one big thing.
That's kind of a moving into the 21st century a little more thing,
Yeah.
Bill. I mean,
Yeah.
I know we're not a city, we're a township, we're a municipality, and in the cities it's more mandatory that more essential that you have bike paths and walking areas. But it's if we want to, like, I don't want to say keep up, but part of it is keeping up with what people want and expect. That's important stuff.
Yeah, you even take a look at your street. There's no sidewalks.
No sidewalks.
A lot of places don't have sidewalks.
Right.
And they said it's going to take decades to actually address it in an impactful way. It's nothing.
Right.
It's nothing that's going to happen overnight.
Right.
But at least their there's that thinking is in place, a plan's in place, and now we'll get a map, and it'll be up to the township staff to work with developers as things come up and come up with maybe plans that the township initiates. So that was one thing that was done. And then the other thing that we've discovered is that, over 3 meetings, the township supervisors really have not come forward and said what their priorities are at this point.
Right.
And that was something that I stood up and spoke this past Tuesday about asking them to think about that and be able to identify, what they want to do. And what I've come up with is, I've been doing this kind of stuff for 30 plus years. So, I mean, I've seen a lot of stuff happen, and a lot of people come into these board positions with limited experience in government. They mean well, they want to do well. It takes a while for them to get ramped up to be able to be really, really effective. And there is education for them to get that. There's a state association of township supervisors that provides trainings, but all that stuff takes time. So the quick snapshot as far as the 3-point plan is, first of all, that all of us, including all citizens, that we we don't look at these people as Democrats or Republicans. We're sort of apolitical about the whole thing. They're our neighbors, right? So don't try and eliminate
I
the
wish
political
people could
component.
be better at that than they
Yeah.
are, Bill. And I enjoy politics. I'm kind of ardent. I'm all in on a lot of stuff, and you know how I am.
Yep.
But when it comes to my township politics, man, I'm just all in for all of them. I was all in for all the Republicans when it was all Republicans, and now I'm all in for all the Democrats. While it is all Democrats, it doesn't make a difference. The needs are the same. The support should be the same, and the backing that we give them should be the same. And if you want to kind of challenge them or call them out, do it in a respectful way, So,
well, yeah, and one of the advocacy things that I may try for, it's maybe sooner than later, is to try and get some legislation to follow states like the Commonwealth of Virginia that doesn't have political elections at the local level. So you don't sign up or launch a campaign as a Republican or a Democrat. You're just a candidate. And they actually hold these local elections separate days from the political elections, where you do have.
What would be the benefit of having your township operate, let's say, politically or political in nature? I don't get it. We're talking about roads and we're talking about basic stuff that everybody has to kind of live with and live around. It shouldn't really be political, should it?
Well, I think that's what it is. This is apolitical stuff. It's basic services. We need to have a functioning community. And I don't know how you can say, but what my famous one is. How can you say processing wastewater is a Republican or Democrat?
Right.
It's not.
Bill, I for those that have been around not too long, this happened not long ago. That we had one of probably the worst debacles in the history of our township with that Friendship Center.
Yeah.
We just lost millions and millions of dollars. We dropped it into the sewer. I mean, the taxpayers really got, ran over the coals. I never once thought those they were, it was I never once blamed it on Republicans or thought those darn Republicans. I thought we got to turn this around and figure out a solution for this. And again, that shouldn't be a political in nature issue,
Yeah, you're right. So that's the first thing. Be apolitical. The next thing is to avoid micromanagement. Avoid micromanagement, because the supervisors, whether they understand it or not, whether it's Lower Paxton or any township across the state, they're policy setters.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lot different than going into the office and figuring out, do we hire this person or that person? Do we create a position? You really have to depend on your professional administrators. And in this case, our township manager is the key person. And right now we have one that's very, very experienced, and they can lean on him so that the supervisors don't have to be digging into all the nuts and bolts of what's happening in the township. Let him do his job. You stick to policies wherever, like I said, coming up with a list of things you want to do and working through the township staff, township manager to get it done.
Can I ask you a question, Bill?
Sure.
Is it clearly defined whose job is whose?
I think if you look at this, I've
seen cases. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I've seen cases where they go, "Why is the board even dealing with that?" Or that's not the supervisor's job. That's a board level issue.
Right.
So is it clearly defined who should be tasked with what?
Look at the state description of how these townships should operate. Yeah, you're supposed to. If you're an elected official, look, you're only being paid $5,000 a year. They're not hiring you to come in and work a job at the township office. They're hiring you for your knowledge of the community's needs, and what policies we need to put in place to maintain or improve things.
Right.
So it's clearly defined, but it doesn't get talked about that much. And like I said, when people come into these positions, some of them are have more knowledge of what it's all about. And I'm sure it's easy to think, well, this isn't working very well at the township office. I'm gonna go and fix it. When you really should be talking to the township manager.
If it's not your job, it doesn't matter how many solutions you have. You should pass your solutions on to whosever job it is, right?
Yeah, and here's
your ideas, I guess it would be.
When I initially started covering local government, I covered some smaller townships. For example, at the time, South Hanover Township, down like the village of Union Deposit, Derry Township area. There's actually a place that's called the Union Deposit, a little town. There was actually a restaurant
the village
there.
of Union Deposit. Yeah.
Restaurant there. I forget what it was called. But, it's back in the day, you were, even though you weren't being paid very much, you were involved in some of the day-to-day stuff. For example, plowing snow. The township supervisors would be authorized, they would get the paperwork set up to plow snow. And I remember West Hanover Township, they would have meetings, Joe, 10, 11, start at 7 and go to 11, 11:30, because they had all this nuts and bolts stuff to do. And they were so happy whenever they hired a manager who would take care of all this stuff that they were doing in meetings.
Right.
So that's another example where township supervisors ideally set policy.
Right.
And the last thing would be to identify, I'm not going to beat this too much because I already talked about it, identify priorities. And in my book, I think a lot of people's book, the economic development is one of the key ones, with that mall and other properties I'm not even aware of. But the mall being the biggest one, we need to provide some assistance, in my opinion, to get that thing moving in the right direction. Now, the last meeting, Pamela Thompson, our chairwoman, said that there's a list of people that are looking to hire, and somewhere in that list is someone to do economic stuff. And in my opinion, again, it's just my opinion, I don't think we had a situation where we had a point person on economic development. He did the best he could. But that's a tough one-man job, a one-man show to try and do.
Bill, that should be a high-paid position. You need a background in sales, in economics, and in real estate. Really, don't you think?
Yeah, sure. But the other part is, I think that's almost given the size of what we're dealing with here, it's tough for one guy, gal, whatever it is, to do it. I think Laura Kurtz, our former chairwoman, had a good idea. And Lower Allen Township, where Capital City Mall, put it into action. They formed an authority. And what the authority does, a governmental agency, a local one, is that enables us to get state monies and different incentives to attract developers into our area.
Mm-hmm.
When you have that authority, that's a standalone organization. And usually, what you look for is a team of people to be involved in that authority, headed up by maybe the township economic development director, but they work as a team. And you bring people in that know where to go to talk to developers and interact with them and know how to talk with them and that kind of thing. You bring some expertise in a team scenario, but the big thing is it gives you access to state government monies that are earmarked for economic development. Right now, we don't have that access to that.
That's not good that we don't.
Yeah, and right now we don't have anyone on the economic development front. So that's why Anthony and other people are saying that's got to be number one. But our elected officials may or may not agree with me on that. The other thing is, John Jeem, who was supervisor just up until a few weeks ago, lost the election. He had a whole plan put together as, again, setting some policy. He wanted to do a real good look at our transportation. He had a number of projects on North Mountain Road that he was working on. He wanted to do a complete survey of all the traffic lights in the township. Some don't work very well, need attention, or need some, they need to be looked at and identify where there's problems. So we need someone to be a point person there as far as setting policy, whether we do we direct the staff to go out and survey all the traffic lights? Do we follow up on John's work on North Mountain Road, especially that southbound exit off of 81 coming into North Mountain Road? Very, very dangerous. A lot of accidents. So I just think they need to identify their priorities. If you don't have a map, you don't have anything you're shooting for, you're not, it's just, you're just going to deal with whatever shows up on the agenda.
Hey, Bill, when you did your presentation, you said this at this last meeting to the board.
Yeah.
Did you include all these items, all these issues?
I think mine was more of an encouragement to identify what you want to do. I got into that more when I did a video a few days ago. I laid out this kind of stuff more.
These are well, you did a good job putting these together. I think it's something, that you might want to present and not that you want to tell them what they have to do, or
Right,
just
right.
say, hey, listen, I'm a longtime member of this township. I care about this township. And these are some of the things that I've identified as, if not essential, like very important. And it could only help. I mean, it's going to take you 5 minutes to talk about it, but I think you're really like hitting nails on the head here with all these things.
Yeah, well, it's either public comment or work with them work with the township manager, work through him. So we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But hopefully within the next month or 2 months, they'll have something put together. And if you look at the video, there are some hindrances or things that come up that make it hard for them to meet the sunshine laws. I mean, they can't have 3 members in a room talking about stuff legally. That's a quorum. They can make decisions there. It needs to be an advertised meeting.
How does email apply to that, Bill?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Okay.
But the one thing I recommended that they work through the township manager, tell him what their priorities are and have him put together a plan. And then they can go back and huddle up and listen to Michael Gossert present, right? Get some education on what he's telling them, come out in public, and then talk about what they want to do.
Township manager Michael Gossert, for those at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that pretty much wraps up this week's show. Where are we at? Oh man, we're over an hour again.
Yeah, we're exactly where my show was. At a minute one, my show, I saw the 101 mark, and I'm like, all right, we got to shut this down.
So yeah, well, now that I have a little bit more time, I'll be putting out more reels or more Facebook reels with breaking this thing down into segments. So
nice that we had an opportunity to make a new friend tonight, Bill.
Yep, Sandra
Brooks. Is it Sandra or Sandra? Okay. And she's from NutriPacks.
Sandra Brooks, Brooks. Brooks.
All right, we'll throw that back up there again. And that'd be nice to have her on. It's your show, but every now and then, just to kind of remind people what she does and what's one of the more important things in the entire school district, and no doubt.
Yeah, well, we work together, so it's not, even though we have our own shows, we work together.
Yeah, yep, definitely. All right.
So have a good week, everybody. We'll see you back here next Sunday for another edition of Linglestown Gazette Live, brought to you by Blue Line Pools and Outdoor Living. Have a good night. Thanks, Joe.
Have a good evening, Bill.
Bye-bye.